Well, they certainly looked the part in their first up match and could be a good test for South Africa, who'll be captained by Carl Brown once again in his 50th tournament. All eyes will be on Siabela Senatla to see whether or not he can get up to the magical 100 tries in his 20th tournament. So alongside me, former Springbok hooker, Dinyani Shimangi, and Shimmy, it's been a really good day, hasn't it, all round? Great surface, great crowd, and sort of just like great vibe here.
No, you're right, Gavin. Look at that, look at the people. Everyone's having so much fun here. But the occasion itself and the excitement always goes up, obviously, when the home team come out, the Blitzbokke, are looking for a better performance than earlier on. But a team that's steadily improving with some talented players. The Kenyans, they almost beat England, but I just felt they ran out of steam the last 2-3 minutes. They could have won that game. So we're up for a contest here. The physical Kenyans against the fast Springboks. Let's see what the score is going to be.
Well, they say it's always how you finish, not how you start. And this is a two-day competition with plenty of rugby to play. It's physically very demanding. The game of sevens has become far more physical than in the past. And Matt O'Brien will be our referee. Very experienced man. And the crowd have really come in their throngs. They're in full voice right now.
Africa.
We saw the Mexican wave a little bit early on. There's a lot of people dressed as Mexicans. Straight on. I don't know if it's the sombrero for the sun or what it is. And now it's ole, ole, ole. South Africa, 2 victories in the last 2 contests, the last 2 years in Port Elizabeth. And the first knock-on coming from Carl Brown. Referee waiting to see what happens here. This is Biko Adima.
No, not the ideal start. That's an area you always want to control in sevens because you want possession. Is the kickoffs. Carl Brown turns up. All he has to do is turn his shoulder. So if he does knock it, he knocks it backwards. He's looking at it front on or square on, and the ball goes forward. He turns his shoulders, it goes backwards, and it's still a South African ball.
Yeah, sometimes people don't realize the true importance of kickoffs, how you control them, how you kick them too, of course. Out from Biko Adima. Well, remember too that Kenya have Collins and Njera in their side. He's pacey. He scored the first most tries ever in the history of sevens rugby, and that's quite special, that behind Gomez Cora from Argentina and Ben Gollings, the legendary Ben Gollings of England. So Collins Njera looking to get his part too. 204 tries that he scored. Well, Siabela Senatla, as I said, 98 tries in 20 tournaments. It's a phenomenal return.
Sit.
Cheslin Colby at scrum half for South Africa. South Africa have got plenty of pace too. Importantly to remember, and a good playmaker in this man, Justin Khadal. Here he comes, the express train. They won't catch him. Senatla flying home for South Africa. What a start. Try number 99 for the Flyer.
Well, a well-worked try from the Blitzbokke, and Justin Khadal created that, going across, drawing in the defender, putting that man in space. And you said it, Gavin, the Flyer, no one's going to stop him in open ground. And he makes it look easy. Siabela Senatla opens up the try scoring for the Blitzbokke.
Yeah, a very calculated try too from a set piece. Good strong scrum and good use of the field too.
No, definitely, and between Khadalt and Cheslin Colby, the 2 playmakers in the South African team. This time it was Khadalt, just knew exactly when to give him the pass, backed his pace on the outside, and the Kenyans had no answer.
I'd be scared to play against South Africa if I wasn't quick. Because if you go through this team, I tell you what, it's just everybody has got jet shoes of some sort or another. Well, that's not a good effort, that, with that ball going straight into touch from Justin Khadalt. And he apologizes to his teammates. Those are the critical things when you're playing your tough matches, is your accuracy.
Gavin, and look at the kickoffs, the teams that do it well, the Americans, Fijians, when they do kick off, they get the ball back and they just keep that scoreboard ticking over the whole time. So it's important for the Blitzbokke to try and get points on again. But this time the Kenyans, nice and direct.
Oh, beautiful play. Here comes a real chance for them. This is Collins and Njera. 2 handoffs, very neatly done by the Kenyan captain. And he extends that wonderful try-scoring record of his. 205 in his career, 3rd most ever.
No, that's the incredible thing about the Kenyans. They're very direct in their approach. And Collins Injera just took on the South African defensive line, and a big hole opened up. Shoddy defense, but very direct, the Kenyans. When they played against England, they took them on physically, and they managed to keep, well, almost lose the lead at the end, but they played very well. They will take you on, so your defense has to be up to scratch to stop them.
Beko Dima with the conversion. He's also another really good player in their side. But have a look at the South Africa just missing their tackles. And again, we talk about the accuracy importance when you're playing your really big games.
It's just too high with the South African defenders trying to take him above the, so sort of above or around his shoulders. And there he is, Collins Injera, 205 tries, amazing.
Also great to see the legendary South African Fabian Jury's there too. There's another basic knock-on. I just wonder if Carl Brown's, it's not an excuse, but if he's straight into the sun with those kick-ins.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Just say, look at him, yeah, probably loses sight of the ball somewhere along the line, yeah.
I just saw a knock-on.
Look, that looked like it actually went backwards from him there.
Well, credit to the Kenyans. They certainly are putting the pressure on South Africa. They know that that's the best way to take on the might of the Blitzbokker. So, Oscar Yodi, the microbiologist in the midfield. And Kenya really looking the part right now. South Africa missing their tackles. So Collins Injera is forced to go in, and there's nothing wrong with that. The pickup coming from Sinatla, but just a lack of refinement. Perhaps South Africa just a little bit rusty, one feels. They have been in their first game, and it's continuing into this one.
Yeah, there's frustration here. If you look in the back end where the ball comes, one of the Kenyans actually holds Kadilt back, and he can't support. So look there, he gets held back, and that's why they're starting getting frustrated with Craig Hubert.
Come up. Crouch. Fine.
Well, Matt O'Brien right on the spot there to make the call.
Got a bind to him. Thanks. Crouch.
Looks like there's great competition as well with this little monkey scrum. They're full at it, the Kenyans. South Africa also looking for the big push. Beko Dima. And then bringing in Oscar Oyodi. Well, this is Billy Odiambo. He hasn't seen much of the ball yet. He's doing pretty well staying on his feet.
Off his head.
Adima. Oh, they've got men here. They've got a chance here. If they can straighten it. And did that pass go forward? Well, maybe not, because they've got the try. It's William Baka. The Kenyan Lomu, they call him. 102 kilograms.
Yeah, and William Baka did have some time. He played a bit for Western Province. He's a big man. To see him back in the seventh shake-up there, strong. And he's a great finisher. Look at that right at the end. Didn't have a lot of work to do. It was done by the inside guys, getting the ball out wide. But William Baka gets a try, and the Kenyans are up for this one.
I think they really are up for this one. Who's in the background? So it'll be half-time after this kick from Adima. And that looks like it's gone pretty straight. So the Kenyans, impressive lead that they've got by those 7 points, and it was because of this try.
Just getting the ball into space. Defender came in, sent the ball wide, 2-on-1. William Baka gets a try for the Kenyans.
So half-time in this all-African encounter sees the Kenyans, surprisingly perhaps, leading South Africa by 14-7, and deservedly so.
Wait, let's defend up Kennedy. It's not good, boys. Not if you have Yes!
Well, for our international audience, just a conversion of the Afrikaans or the Dutch that was spoken there by the coach Neil Powell, who really is asking for a special effort from his team and Yanni. And just as we have a look at that, total attendance 48,000 today. It's a phenomenal attendance, this, and certainly one of the best. But just going back to that halftime huddle, and perhaps a little bit of feeling there that, hang on guys, we could be in a bit of trouble here.
Yeah, definitely. And what also I mentioned is about controlling the kickoffs, and that's probably the one area where they're almost struggling with the Kenyans here. And the Kenyans are very physical, so defensively they're going to have to start making bigger hits, or be more aggressive in the contact situation, and then the pace can do the rest.
Well, we saw how many tackles they missed in the first half too, as Geduld gets the second half underway. Up for Biko Dima. This is Collins Injera, their most experienced player, and the big abrasive William Baka. Well, here's the chance. Philip Snyman now and Chris Dry. They've hardly touched the ball in this game. The two boys from Grey College. Now Cheslin Colby. Oh dear. A little bit of overdone by South Africa, if we could say. Might have just wanted it to go through the hands. So perhaps the decision making a little bit questionable.
Yeah, look, it was the right decision to go wide. It's just the execution wasn't right. One of the Kenyans actually got in between the South African attacking line, put his hands up. That's why Cheslin Colby had to do that long looping pass. So definitely identified the space. He's just got to get the ball there.
Well, bear in mind and spare some thought too for the men like Cecil Africa, who's out with a hamstring injury. Werner Kott, the World Rugby Player of the Year last year, Sevens Player of the Year, who's had an operation on Thursday to his knee, a very serious one, and we wish him luck. But other people have the opportunity to step up. South Africa might want to get Quacker Smith onto the field to help bring a bit of abrasion in the second half.
Yeah, but there's no sense of panic here. Fantastic bit of defensive work. Geduld makes a tackle, gets up on his feet there. That's the physicality you talk about, being more aggressive at the breakdown, and it works here. And a fantastic opportunity, nice sort of field position for an attacking set here, right in the middle to attack both sides.
Especially when you've got pace, Shimmy, as well, and South Africa have got it on both sides, of course.
Advantage green.
So Geduld decides to look for a chip and chase. Not a great kick.
Unbinding early.
But it's the Kenyans penalised. Now Chris Dry will give this ball to Colby. Training ground move time. Can they catch the Kenyans unawares here? Desperate for 7 points of South Africa. Colby the change to Geduld. And here they come now, South Africa. It's Chris Dry out wide. How many times haven't we seen Chris Dry put the finishing touches where you need a big man up in tight space in the corner?
Well, Gavin, and you called it a set move. Chris Dry in the corner. Made it look very easy. Fantastic passing here. It's just a switch with Geduld. He picks a side, takes on the defender. And look at that, 3-on-2. The skip pass works. And Geduld over in the, and Chris Dry over in the corner.
And a lovely pass too from Jean de Jong. Now Geduld with a very important conversion. This is one of the better kickers on the circuit, but this one's gone wide. And halfway through the second half, that's the finish then. Always back the big man in a situation like that. So South Africa still trailing by those 2 points. And it's absolutely vital too that they win this game. Their next game is against England. Their last game of the day, South Africa. So that also will be a tough match for them. They really want to try and make this one count and get a victory here. So ruck was formed, that ball played on the ground by South Africa.
In crucial times, the Kenyans just look to go downfield. But also in sevens, the dangerous thing is trying to defend a small lead or any lead. You always see guys giving that up. So the ruck form, hands not allowed in there. They have to roll away. It's called by Matt O'Brien.
Oh, rugby's a great lever, of course. You know, from one day to the next, your form can change, your luck can change. There's so many things that can change. But this team, with that man there who's got a German father and a Kenyan mother, who's developing his own clothing range, Bika Adima, has really looked the part today for them. He's controlled things very well for Kenya. That throw-in is terribly skewed. But good refereeing from Matt O'Brien. And then the little tap-on from Jean de Jong's gone forward.
Just lacking a bit of synergy at the moment, the Blitzbokke. The opportunities are there. You can see the intent is there to get the ball wide or throw it to the wings, but just lacking a little bit of accuracy. But it should come. But the clock is ticking as the Kenyans make some changes here. The reinforcements on, just making sure they don't run out of steam like they did against England.
Yeah, Frank Wanyama and Nelson Oyoyo onto the field, just to bring a little bit of fresh legs. And actually foregoing a little bit of pace on Kenya right now, but I think maybe Benjamin Ayimba is quite smart in saying, well, you know what, let's make sure that our defense is rock solid for these last 2 minutes of the game. South Africa desperate now for a score to seal this game. And the aggression comes from the smallest man in the team, Chislin Colby, who's secured that ball for South Africa. Now Philip Snyman. Some good competing on the ground there. Colby again. Trying to find his way through what was actually a cul-de-sac. Snyman. Now Chris Dry in the fly half position. And now Sanatla. Can he step these guys? No space to move in. Once again, the Kenyan defense is very well organized. Take up there from William Baka, but it's a penalty to South Africa, and it's almost a last chance. Just 1 minute of play left. Can South Africa make this count? This is Juan de Jong. Now Geduld. Can de Jong get on his outside? Can Colby get through here? Steps inside. Cheslin Colby. He's got the vital score. And the referee has said timeout, but I fancy that's a try.
Javier.
Well, it's called RVR, referee video review, and it's the first one I think that we're having today. And the referee wants to make 100% sure. It's such a crucial situation, this. This is the difference between victory and loss. Was there a double movement? Did he lose the ball? Well, it does look like he's actually lost the ball short of the line.
Yeah, looks like he lost it short of the line. The ball rolled forward. Let's listen to the call here.
Knock on. Knock on, green.
Yeah, benefit of technology, of course. So, look at the time at the top of your screen. Just a half a minute left. And the scrum will belong to the Kenyans.
Mark's here.
And it's going to be interesting to see if the Kenyans get the ball. Do they kick it downfield or try running from back there? Kick it, you lose position. Back your skills, hold on to it, and try to run the clock down. 30 seconds left. A first position here, massive scrum coming up.
Bring the Kenyan Lomu into play. Give him the ball and tell him to stand his man. Competition here. Excellent competition from Carl Brown. But it is the self-same Oscar Umar this time who comes away with it. And, well, how about that? 7 seconds. You want to cut things fine? Leave it till the last minute or the last seconds.
Well, the Blitzbokke are leaving it late today. Last opportunity, a very nervous crowd here. The route is gone. Can they win this game? One opportunity. First things first, the forwards are going to have to do the hard work, get the ball back, and create that opportunity.
Roscoe Speckman with a put-in. Juan de Jong standing close by. It's a great scrum this from the Kenyans. Somehow South Africa get it back. Speckman caught in possession, but it's a penalty to South Africa. Did that ball leave his hand? And it's another penalty. It'll be a yellow card, this, I think, against Kenya. And it's the big man who's off the park.
Hey, excuse me. Over here.
Back to training ground. What is the move now? Speckman, the long pass. South Africa, crucial that they don't knock on. Kwagga Smith now. The little pop inside. Being knocked on by Justin Geduld. And Kenya with an historic victory. They led by 14 points to 7 at half-time. South Africa scored a try but failed to get a conversion, which would have had them at a draw.
Well, fantastic win from the Kenyans. They hung in there. They lost to England in the last minute. This time they managed it. You see how much it means to them. You're right, Gavin. A historic win away from them in front of all the South African crowd. They pulled it off.
And also the way they did it, I think, is give them a lot of credit to. They had a very well-organised defence and they were physically strong. Final score then, Kenya 14, South Africa 12.